Welcome to The Explainer. You know those super long sales pages you scroll through and you find yourself wondering, how in the world did they get people to buy? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to break down the anatomy of a digital pitch, piece by piece, and really get into the psychology they use to turn your curiosity into a click.
All right, so let's get right into it. We've all been there, right? Scrolling through these endless pages packed with big, bold claims and super emotional stories. But how do they actually work? What's the secret sauce? Well, to figure that out, we're going to take a look at the marketing strategy for a real product. It's called the Okinawa Flat Belly Tonic, and we're going to uncover the exact blueprint they use.
So first things first, every single good pitch starts with a hook. I mean, its one and only job is to make you stop scrolling and actually pay attention. And you know one of the most powerful ways to do that? It's with a big, bold, can't-miss promise that's built around a very specific number.
And boom, there it is, 54 pounds. Now, this isn't just some number they pulled out of a hat. No way. It's what you'd call an emotional anchor. It's super dramatic, it's incredibly specific, and it hits a pain point that, let's be honest, a lot of people feel. That desire for a really big, life-changing result. It's a number that's designed to make you stop and think, whoa, could that actually be me?
But here's the clever part. They don't just stop with a number. The headline wraps that big promise inside a really compelling story. See that? Ancient Japanese discovery. That little phrase adds all these layers of mystique and tradition. It's like they're borrowing credibility from history. It makes you think there's some kind of secret, time-tested solution. And suddenly, it's not just a claim anymore. It's an intriguing story.
Okay, so they've got your attention. What's next? Well, now they need to build an emotional connection with you. And this is where storytelling and the super powerful tool called social proof comes into play. The whole goal here is to make that big promise feel totally real and relatable. And how do they do that? By showing you stories of people just like you and me who've already had success.
All right, look at this first testimonial. The language here is all about emotion, all about feeling. Check out the words she uses. Happy, wonderful. It's not really about the number on the scale, is it? It's about that real emotional payoff, wearing my favorite jeans again. I mean, that's something you can feel. It makes the whole thing feel so much more personal, so much more aspirational.
And now, watch this. The emotional dial gets turned from hope and aspiration to fear. John's story uses these really loaded words like out of control and getting warnings from his doctor. It's a strategic move, right? They're reframing the problem. It's not just about wanting to look better anymore, it's now an urgent health crisis. And that creates a much stronger motivation to do something about it, like right now.
Okay, this next one is just brilliant. It tackles the single biggest roadblock for any potential customer: doubt. Rina's story kicks off with the word skeptical, which is exactly how so many of us feel when we see these things. So by calling out that skepticism right away and then just smashing it with a life has been transformed moment, wow. The pitch builds a ton of trust and basically disarms your objections before you even have a chance to think them through.
All right, so the emotional groundwork has been laid. Now the pitch makes a really important pivot. It shifts into the next phase, giving you what feel like logical, rational reasons to believe. This is where the whole focus changes from, man, I really want this, to, okay, I think I can actually trust this.
And to build that trust, the page starts using what we call signals of authority. You see these phrases like FDA-approved facility or GMP certified. Now, honestly, most of us might not know exactly what those mean, but they sound really official, don't they? They're designed to signal safety, quality, and professionalism. It's all about lowering your sense of risk by making the product seem scientifically legit.
But maybe the single most powerful tool they have for getting you to really believe is a classic marketing technique called risk reversal. The psychology behind it is actually pretty simple. If the seller is willing to take on 100% of the financial risk, well, then the product must be good, right? It has to work. And here's that strategy in action. Look at this guarantee. It's incredibly strong. I mean, 90 days? That's a long time. And that little line, even empty bottles, that's the masterstroke. It just zaps away any hesitation you might have left. The message couldn't be clearer. You have absolutely nothing to lose. And that makes the decision to click buy feel completely, totally safe.
So let's recap. Attention? Grabbed. Desire? Built. Trust? Established. Now we get to the final stage, the irresistible offer. The goal here is simple. Create a deal that feels so good, so valuable, and so urgent that you feel like you have to act on it right now.
At the heart of the offer is this pricing chart. And just look at how the price per bottle plummets the more you buy. That "you save" column makes the value crystal clear. Trust me, this design is no accident. It's all about psychologically nudging you toward that biggest package, making it seem like the only smart financial choice. And the whole offer is anchored to this one number, $39. Since it's the lowest possible price, it becomes the main thing you focus on. By hammering that price home again and again, the 6-bottle pack isn't positioned as just another option, it's positioned as the only logical, valuable deal there is. But wait, there's more. To make the offer seem even more irresistible, they use a cool technique called the value stack. See, they don't just sell you the tonic, they pile on these free bonuses, and each one has its own little price tag. This makes the whole package feel way bigger and way more valuable than what you're actually paying. It just explodes the perceived value of the deal. And to wrap it all up, they bring back this number one last time, 90. That 90-day guarantee is the ultimate safety net. It really is the final piece of the puzzle. It's designed to tear down that very last wall, that final barrier to buying, by making it feel like there's zero financial risk. None.
Okay, so we've taken this whole digital pitch apart. What did we learn? Let's do a super quick recap of the core pieces of this really powerful persuasion blueprint.
You see, it's a system. It's a process. First, you get the hook. Then they build desire with stories you can relate to. After that, they build trust with all those signals of proof. Then they create urgency with that big, stacked offer. And finally, they close the deal with that ironclad guarantee. Every single piece works together, in order, to walk you step by step from, what's this, all the way to that final click.
And really, that brings us to the most important thing to take away from all this. This isn't just about one specific product. It's about understanding the whole architecture of persuasion. Because once you see this playbook, you can't unsee it. You just become a smarter, more critical consumer. So the next time you land on one of those pages promising a miracle, you won't just be reading the claims, you'll be seeing the code behind it all.